Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to wearefree.tv. Today we have a very special show. We have two interesting guests and a co-host. So, gentlemen, hello, how are you today?
Thank you. Hello.
Aloha.
Hi there. So, Schwingster is the co-host, an expert on these subjects, an expert in asking questions. Now, Henrik, perhaps you could introduce yourself very quickly. I see you are Henrik Kroman Jensen, trademark, and you're a native-born Danish state national man. Please explain.
Yes. Hello, my name is Henrik. Yeah, you know, I was on your show once before. So the way I write my name is in quantum to make it a fact. So it's really the first colon is for the Henrik hyphen Kroman that makes it into a fact. And then I'm of the Jensen family, of the Jensen lineage.
Uh-huh.
And that is copyrighted and it's also made into a trademark. So any infringement on my copyright will be with severe fines involved.
Okay.
My status, or it is called my political status, it's a native-born Danish state national, and then a man, of course, of the mankind. And I don't know if any one of you have heard about this, a document from 1966. It's a UN document called International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights. And Article 1, Section 1 in that piece says everyone has a right to choose their own political status. And that is what my Danish native is, my political status. So someone can have like a citizenship, or someone is a national, someone is diplomat. That's all different political statuses.
Okay. So why is all this good? Why did you trademark your name, and why is it copyrighted? And
okay, so if someone wants to make money using my name, like the government does every time they send you a letter through the mailbox, they're using your name to profit from. And if they do that, then I can fine them. I can go after them for misusing my name without my express written permission.
so that's like Coca-Cola?
They cannot send me a parking ticket. They cannot send me a speeding fine, because all that is commerce and it's for profit, and all corporations are registered for profit. So any non-real government, what we call de jure government, that tries to harvest from my federal social security account will be in trouble.
I see.
So that's
okay,
why.
Fair enough. How about you, Vitaly, from Kachnarenko family? And you seem to be a man as well.
Yes, as you see, no transgender, so pure man, pure blood. You mentioned before, you know, my name is from Slavic country. I'm originally from Ukraine. Got my British citizenship and live in Norway with Norwegian residency. But if I strip all of that, Ukrainian, British, Norwegian, or whatever, I'm just a man, because I'm finding myself on the plane of this earth, on the face of the earth. So for me, the man is enough. So yes. I don't take any titles right now. And the whole thing about titles, I don't know if you want to talk about this here, but for me, my family call me Vitaly. So I'm from the Hachenko clan, which is Ukrainian origin. So that's me in short.
Okay. And how about you, Schwingster, in a nutshell?
I'm a waking up artist. What can I say? Growing up to become a man.
Yes.
in the law of the land, and not in the commerce identity theft situation.
Yes. Okay. So would you like to kick off this interview, Schwingster?
Yes. So
Please.
this aloha everybody. We are doing a follow-up interview about the story of Sigmund, and we would like if we can give us a short, background. Who is Sigmund? If you can, and what happened to Sigmund?
Yeah, so maybe Vitaly should start because he actually knows and has met Sigmund. I haven't met him. I only got involved because I'm in the place where he is. So maybe you want to start, Vitaly.
Yeah, to how I came to know Sigmund, it's actually through his affidavit, because the whole journey for us of awakening to this whole scandemic, I would say, started actually in 2020. Because in 2020 I already knew what they have planned. Kind of, you had inside information, so we started to prepare our lives with Live Life Claim. So we put Live Life Claim as well for whole our family before the pandemic started, and with that kind of started our journey into our freedom land. I was joining and part of the group that called You Are Law from USA, and they was students of David Windmiller, which were involved heavily with quantum grammar, and that's how I started. And then obviously, you know what, having all these documents with you, what you do with it. So in 2021, I mean, even in 2020, we have refused to participate in all their agenda. We just decided not to partake in it, even though I've been pressed at work and so on. So, but to cut it short of how we came to know Sigmund, it was actually our journey from Sweden to Norway in 2021. To go to Sweden, it was a green zone, so it was no problem to cross the border. But coming back, that was actually a challenge, because it was military control on the Norwegian border, and they've been very clear that without test or the vaccination, you cannot enter. So we refused to do any tests. We refused to to follow their orders. To cut it short, our stand-up was there for 2 hours. They let us go at the end without any testing or without any quarantine hotel. We have refused, but we were contacting people that were connected to the common law, just to give us a guidance of what we do. Even though we were prepared, I had actually notices, liability notices to the doctor at the border. So I've been prepared in a sense with the documents. When we given those liability notices, the doctor has lifted up his hands. He refused to sign it. He said, you know what, I'm not going to sign any documents, because with those documents, you can take me to the court. So it was a funny situation, but we managed to go home. We've been told that will be interviewed by the police, and we will be charged like 20,000 krona each for adult for crossing border without any tests or without any proof of vaccination. So we just left, never been to quarantine. So, and that's where the common law kicked in. We've got advice. We actually get to go on the common law court and start to get advice of how we're going to do this interview with the police. So we're being prepared for the interview, which happened on Monday. We have been very clear that we stand under the jurisdiction of common law, and we refuse to answer any questions. We just told them, please, if you have anything against us, just send us in the post. So the thing is, I was refusing to do that. they told us, you know what, no, you have to have a lawyer so that we can send the documents. And we told them, we capable enough to answer for ourselves. We have enough knowledge to speak for ourselves. And we consider we can take actually the lawyer on board and do the business with him. So at the end, what's happened, they have sent us the letter and the charges. This time it was not 20,000, it was 10,000 each, to which we actually used, and that's where the Sigmund comes in place, because we were shared the Sigmund's affidavit that he has sent to all the high places in Norway. And in that affidavit, there is like 56 points that needed to be rebutted. So we used that his affidavit. It was 6 people that have signed it or autographed it, I would say. And I've done a conditional acceptance letter for the charges that was pressed by the Norwegian police. What it is, I just written a letter to the police, to the lawyer, and I would just say, we are glad to pay your charges only if you rebut this affidavit. And we send it back to them, and I just nullify the charges and send it back to them. So we have not heard nothing after I've sent that email. But interesting thing happened when they received the recorded mail, and we could see on the internet that the recorded mail was received by them. So next morning, very early in the morning, I received the digital email from the police that the charges was dropped for the lack of evidence of crime committed by us.
Amazing.
And that's how I thought, you know what, this is a powerful thing. This is powerful. We need to get ourselves deeper. And obviously, you know, started to study the work that Sigmund done, and the group that was working for this affidavit, they was working with the OPPT, which stands for Open Public People's Trust. And they prepared declaration declaring their status. They were declaring their position, their will. And so we have get heavy involved with that and start to just get more and more ready. And then Sigmund was on the phone call, on the Zoom call every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. So for us, it was like routine. You know, on Monday it was common law meetings, and on Tuesday it was OPPT meetings, and that's how we get connected. And more and more, especially when we shared our experience with the border crossing. So somehow it started to click that we need to meet, and we started to talk more privately with Sigmund and so on, because we had a lot of common ideas. And then this year we were planning, you know what, we need to meet somehow. And then we managed to have a trip to the west of Norway, to his home place in August, beginning of August. And we had a wonderful holiday with them, with Siv and Sigmund, and have very deep discussion about the future and how we're going to go about all this. We also were very practical. We have done a role play police interacting with the traveler in the car. And so I was a traveler first, and Sigmund was a policeman, and so he was staff. And we have this actually recorded as well. If you're interested, I can share.
I'll tell you what I'd like. I'd like you to do it right now. You to be the passenger, and Henrik to be the police officer.
Oh my God!
Do you mind doing this role play?
Well, I don't mind. I'm not. To be honest, that's you caught us on the spot. I don't mind. So because
yeah, but I would like to actually get into why. Where is Sigmund now, and why are we on this call? start with, because that's really the problem. He is locked up in Denmark for almost 2 months now, no charges, and he has had no arraignment at the court. He's just put in a box, and his arraignment is on Tuesday. That means he's going before the judge, and he's going to be interrogated if he wants to participate, but that I don't think he will do. So actually the actual court case is on Tuesday, and that's really why we meet, because we need to get some focus on the crimes that are happening here, because we are in the middle of 3 countries. Norway and Sweden is our neighbors to the north. In Denmark, we're the south of those 2 countries. And there's a lot of crime going on here, and we want to put a big light on that because we want to help Sigmund on Tuesday.
Okay,
so
go ahead.
Do you mind that we...
Please, go ahead. Well, if we have time at the end, we could do the role play. So Absolutely. What about Sigmund? And just before you go, if I understand correctly, it sounds to me like he did this affidavit that Vitaly mentioned before he was arrested. I mean, ages before that, and other people are referring to it. Yes. And maybe he's on their radar, so they think this guy is trouble for us. You know, he's teaching other people. He did this affidavit. He sent it everywhere. Other people are referring to it. We better put a stop to it, and that's why they put him in jail or whatever. Maybe he was on the Yeah. Well,
what I can tell you that I know is I also spoke with the OPPT group, and I haven't followed the OPPT work. That's another reason for that, but I don't really want to sidetrack that. But what I want to go with is that Sigmund was driving coming from south, from Italy, going through Denmark, which is a transit land to get to Norway. And as he crossed into the border of the south, which is a little island where they came in on a boat, and they are going on the land and start to drive into the freeway. And then he is showing this common law court passport, and his car was registered under common law, and they left him through. And then shortly after that, they sent a lot of police cars after him, and he didn't know if it was him they were coming after or it was someone else. So eventually they stop him and they smash his window, the passenger side, where his woman seat was sitting, and he was arrested, and he was put in a temporary holding cell, and then someone filed a piece of paper, and then they threw him into the highest secured prison in Denmark, where he's sitting right now.
Yeah.
And that's a huge place, and it's actually very close to where I am, and also the court. So that's really why we are here, and that's really what we want to share, what's going on with Sigmund and his case right now, because what it looks like is, and I'm involved with the paperwork, I spoke to the lawyers. I never met Sigmund. I've only seen paperwork coming out of the prison from Sigmund. That's why I wanted Vitaly to tell us a little bit about Sigmund, who he is. But it seems like because he was driving a little bit too fast, and the way they tried to stop him, they kind of say he was like a maniac on the road, and that's why they're keeping him locked up. But you don't do that for 2 months because there's no crime. I mean, you drive on the car, and he did an emergency brake. Turns out it was his Tesla that did that. So he has done nothing wrong. And that's the problem. That's why this is criminal. Because under international law that almost countries in the world have signed up on, you're not allowed to incarcerate anyone without a proper arraignment, a proper court, what's called due process. That hasn't happened with Sigmund. He's just been put in a hole, and they have been letting this drag out as long as it is now, the longest they can according to their own rules. And we can't get to talk to him. And I tried through the lawyer to get to talk to him. I tried to get him on the phone and be at the meeting on Tuesday. And that has also been refused. So we actually been doing a lot of things. We talked to common law.
Who's lawyer? Sorry, who's the lawyer? Obviously, it's
The
not his lawyer.
The lawyer is an appointed defense attorney that Sigmund has declined to let represent him at the court.
Yeah. So why did you speak to him if he's declined?
Because I'm not Sigmund, and I can, as a friend, under something called Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, a friend can talk with the court if you're not able, and he's not able because he's locked up.
Yeah. So you want just to talk to the court?
So I called up the lawyer and say we want to have his wife wants to have a call with him on the phone, and they were not cooperating.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
I tried to call the Norwegian embassy in Denmark to send a representative to the prison to find out if he was okay, and the Norwegian diplomat or the embassy, they say, oh, well, we can't help. But I said, this is a Norwegian citizen in a Danish prison. And the lawyer told me it's practice in Denmark, Norway, and Sweden that we don't put each other's citizens in prison because we're all neighbors. So this is highly unlikely. It's never happened before. And so we go to the Norwegian State Department in Norway to get them to contact the Danish State Department. And they say, oh, well, we can't help this case. So we're beginning to be a little bit suspicious here because the normal diplomacy seems to be not working. I contact writtenly Amnesty International because there is something called a man can be prisoner of conscience, and we wanted Amnesty to help us give him that status. And both Amnesty in Norway and Amnesty in Denmark say, oh, we can't help. So it's more and more looks like there's a conspiracy going on here. The Norwegian government, Danish government or state and police in Norway and Sweden, they are all working together and not sharing any information. We don't even have the formal charges on paper. We only have what was spoken in court. So what's going on here is it's highly illegal according to international law, according to national law, both Denmark and Norway. So that is Sigmund's case sort of boiled down.
Yeah.
And we want everyone out there to know about this. This is going on. This is highly criminal.
It sounds like they're trying to set a precedent and to scare the Henriks and the Vitalis of this world to stop doing what they've been doing successfully. And basically, it's an indirect threat to Vitali. Next time you're going to try and do what you did, it's not going to work. We're going to pull you out of your car and sling you in a cell.
That's definitely what it looks like, without us actually knowing the facts, but it looks like it.
And so what can we do about it?
So Sigmund is basically a pioneer for all the movement of free men on the land, basically.
You could say that. Yes.
So how can all men, living men on the land, what they can do to help Sigmund?
He's the forerunner, you see. So, but the one thing what I like about it, and the first impression that I've got in my head when I found out that they put him into prison, because after our visit, after our role play, we decided, we gonna keep each other posted. Any communication that he sends to the government or to the police, he also sends a copy to me, so we know and backing up each other. And also we agreed if anything happened, he just gives me a call. So that was actually, he was giving me a call, updating on his trip, how it was going, and he was looking forward to meet us because we planned that he will visit us up north. Then after now, I received another call and he said, you know what, I'm being pursued now by the police. So I think I will be role playing now as well. So in real time. So I just, okay, let it be and see what's going to happen. But then after I found out they put him in a prison. You see, they try to bury us, yeah, but they forgetting that we are the seeds. You know what's happened with the seeds when you bury them, right?
Yes.
We multiply. And that's what thing that they can't figure it out. We will multiply. It's not just will be me or Sigmund or Henrik, or we will multiply. We come hundreds of us. And
we are all Sigmund.
We're going to come strong like never before. You see, the whole thing is when you kick the fear out of this head and out of this soul, you're unstoppable. When you know who you are and when you feel the ground that is under you, you know what? Yeah, so what? They destroy your body, and so what? Again, it's a seed, and I've seen that very clear vision that I saw Sigmund as a seed, and that's how I was able to encourage Siv and just keep her on an upbeat, telling her, you know what? There is better and bigger reason why he is there. While they keep him there, you know what? The fruit's going to multiply. You know, the thing is, they thought that they can shut us up. You know what? But we are now connecting people that we thought we will never connect. We're waking up people whom we thought we will never wake up. And now the army is joining. So you know what? And my perspective is to make us stronger, to kick the fear out of us, because you know what? That they hold us in slavery by fear. And I had enough of that. You know what? I want to live in peace and joy. So you know what? Forget about fear.
Amazing.
Boom.
Very exciting. Okay, so that I think this point is clear. So where do we go from here? So we understand. I mean, is there anything specific you think people should do? You say we're going to come with great force. Where are we going to? Who's going to go where? And how is it actually going to take form and shape itself? This gathering of the army, as you say.
Exactly. I have an idea about that I want to share. Our voices and our numbers is what they cannot deal with. So what you can do anywhere, whoever you are out there, go to your nearest Danish embassy and Norwegian embassy and tell them right now that you want to see justice, that this crimes that are going on against his civil rights and incarceration has to stop right now. Because the more pressure on those embassies will make more noise in the system. And the elected politicians, I have found out recently, the way that the government is structured, if there is corruption in police or in the judicial system, it is the elected people that are the ones that is going to correct it. That's how the system is made. That's how it's actually written into it. So these, it's called Folketing. That's like parliament. In the Norwegian countries, it's called Folketing. And a lot of the American states have Folketing also. And it basically means folk in normal people, and ting is 100. So 100 people get together, they can actually constitute a common law. And that's what we're trying to do right now. We've sent a letter to the Danish court above that court with an order to release Sigmund immediately. So what you can do is you can write to that court. It's called Østre Landsret, and you can find that online. It's also in English, the website. And you can send emails to them, flood them with emails, and meet up at the embassies and demand justice. Demand to let the man release. He has done no crime. There is no victim. There is only circumstantial.
So
and
what
you
again?
Won't go to prison for 2 months for a circumstantial traffic violation. That's what he's done.
Yes. So maybe we could put a link beneath the video.
Yes.
The interview to these, to this court you mentioned, and to the embassy. Maybe just write. I'm just thinking, what do you suggest in Israel, for example? We go all the people who are into this subject, all of Schwingster's friends. can actually gather and go and do a
Michael,
protest and protest outside the Danish embassy in Israel and just have signs saying "Free Zygmunt, Free Zygmunt"? Is that enough, or they need to physically write letters?
Both will work because it's voices.
The thing is, protest. I don't like even the word protest. Yeah, because here we're stopping and correcting. We are living in a higher order because responsibilities that placed now on us, on a living man, is stopping and correcting corruption. It's, let's say that, when you see the darkness, all it is that, it's just the absence of light. So when you bring the light there, the darkness disappears. So the key here, for example, is to have educational leaflets and actually start sharing them, for example, in front of the Danish embassy, Norwegian embassy, starting giving them actually what is this all about, so that we educating them, because education is like switching on the light in that dark rooms. And you know what? That corruption will just disappear automatically the moment you bring the light. So because protesting, we do not argue, we don't fight, but we live peacefully and we declare and we proclaim the light in the dark corners. And that's what it is. You just pour out the light. You don't need to fight. Do you fight the darkness when you switch on the light? No, you just press the light on, it's automatically done.
Yes, I also don't follow a protest technique, as it's like asking from the abuser to stop abusing while he has the gun. So Yofi, beautiful you asking. Thank you. But does letters work? What you see? I made a poster. I made my intention. I can say here. That's what I can really do. This is my power here, is to call any man and woman from the living part of reality to give a voice, make a video, say release Zygmunt, make people know in medias, in your social medias, that there is this man who was arrested for no reason at all from the corporation regulars even. They are this is really they kidnap him to show
absolutely.
to show they can do it to anyone who claim to be a living man. So all of us should say no. We are for Zygmunt.
What Zygmunt's case is really, it's that they are not following this. All countries have signed up to this covenant that I spoke about, and that's our born human rights. All you got to do is tell them to respect our rights to say no, to respect our rights to freely choose what we want. And I'm going to share 2 emails for the 2 courts, for the main court and then the higher court. And you can send emails to them. Just respect Zygmunt's civil rights.
Okay, so we can put a link to it later below.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, so gentlemen, I think we've discussed the Zygmunt case. I mean, if there's anything else you want to add, now is the time. And if not, maybe we should move on to something else, as we have another 20 minutes or so.
Sure.
Yes.
So, what would be the next thing? I mean, if no one wants to suggest, I would say maybe we can talk about the live life claim. I heard Vitaly mention it. And again, Schwing and myself are now in the process of getting that done, which is not a secret. And I'm very excited to get my live claim. And how is it going, Henrik? Are we going to get it soon?
It's going very well. I've received all your data and I'm processing your photos, and everything is going to be rolled. And I hope that you'll get it tomorrow during the day. You'll get a first draft of it, and you just need to check all the data is correct.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it's going very well.
So brilliant.
Yes.
So let me ask Vitaly. I am going to get my physical live claim soon from Henrik. What does it mean? I mean, you're someone who has it. I mean, what do you suggest I do with it, or what do you believe I should do with it once I get it?
I mean, this is your entry ticket to the world of the living. Let's put that way. It will change your reality. And the whole thing is to work on this every day. Because to be honest, you know what, even though you have that document, but if you carry the fear inside of you, that document gonna good for nothing. It's not gonna help you. But it's the inside out reality when you comprehend of who you truly are and how to stand. You know, we have gone to the police here because Britain exit from the European Union, so we needed to get a residence permit. So having this document, we thought, you know what we're gonna do? Because they sending us an invitation, you need to actually become a resident, you need to renew your residency. And residency obviously is only applicable for the legal person. It's for the corporation that they would like that this corporation that carries my name be part of the corporation of Norway. So we have sent them a letter with this live life claim explaining of who we are, what is our mission here upon this earth. I don't care about Norway or borders of Norway because I'm not bothered by the borders. It's only limiting the legal person. You know, we all equal before our creator. And you know what, no matter where I want to go and he sends me to go, I'll go. So we told them that we have a mission to promote and sustain life, to promote and sustain peace. And so we are not combatal, we were not at war, we complete at peace, and we're there to protect life. So we sent them letter, no response as usual. So when we went there with whole our family, we have taken the picture and then we were autographing this paper. So we put the autograph, not like I have done before with the signature, with the sinful nature. Yeah.
What's the difference?
Signature. So the signature, it's basically the one that represents your legal person. It attached to your legal person. The autograph, it's a living man. Mm. So we and also what we have written on the document, we written the without prejudice UCC 1-308, which means that nobody can compel us to perform any contract, even though we are living within this jurisdiction of Norwegian so-called kingdom, but it's corporation. So after we have done that, we just asked the lady, would you like to witness that we are the living being? She looked at us with such eyes. What you mean? I just said, well, we have made a live life claim, and would be nice that you actually also can be a witness. And so she did not resist, and so she put her name and her autograph, and also she put the police stamp upon it.
On what?
So on the live life claim.
You mean a copy of it?
No.
The original?
It was original one. Yeah, we took with us original one. So interesting thing, because this is as well was one of the documents that I was sending, for example, to the offices. For example, not long ago, I was stopped by speeding by one policeman, and I had a friend with me. And so when he stopped me, he asked me, do you know why I stopped you? And no, I just asked, please explain to me. So, and he, well, you've been doing too much in the 60 zone. I said, ask him, is any people that get damaged? No, he said. Okay, so there is no claim. What do you mean there is no claim? Then I did not break any law. I did not damage anybody. No. You damaged the state. Oh, okay, how did I damage the state? He said, oh, you broke the rule. Okay, I see. Interesting, but there is no claim. Who's going to come and actually make a claim? Are you going to represent the state? Yes, I'm going to represent the state. So in this dialogue, basically, I told him that, I'm not driving. I'm traveling in my private capacity. And so he was swearing. He started to swear. Oh, what is this all about? I said, look, you know, do you acknowledge that I'm a living man? He said, yeah, I do acknowledge that you are a living man. So in order to have a claim against a living man, it should be third party damaged involved that you can press the charges against me. So he stopped altogether. He said, you know what, here's an offer for me today. You can pay it. It will be discounted. Well, I said, oh, you looks like or sounds like you're doing business on the road. He said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, you come in and with offer to me, but I decline. I don't like any offers. I don't do business on the road. So he was very pissed off with me.
When did the live claim come out in this story?
Yeah, in this story, that's to cut it, because I also have done conditional acceptance, because you know, they have sent the charges to me, and I responded to the police lawyer, who also have attached a live life claim, and in that I just written them, please confirm your I will pay your charges, whatever you present against me, but please confirm your jurisdiction against me, the living man. When you confirm the jurisdiction, then I'm gladly pay. Nothing. Finito. There is nothing was pressed. There is nothing was sent back to me whatsoever. And so I have attached the live life claim to show that you know that I have a claim of life.
Okay. So just explain one thing to me again. So I keep forgetting. So because I am proving that I am a living man, that means that that a corporation can't contract with a living man, something like that. I remember there's something along those lines. What are you basing it on?
Without your consent, you know, they can't press anything against you. You can conditionally agree. That's how I do it. I'm a nice man. I'm a peaceful man. You know what? I will not argue the thing. Yeah, okay. If you want to press charges against me, that's fine. I would like to settle those charges. But first, you prove that you have authority over a living man.
So how did the live claim help? You could have sent the same thing without the live claim.
Because you see, it is a claim. It's showing them, and they have acknowledged it with the police stamp on it as well.
But I won't have the police stamp on it.
No, but it's not necessary. I spoke with Henrik. It's not necessary even to have that. But it's just what I see. It just gives extra weight to the document, especially for them that are sitting behind the computers and with these stamps, and they claiming to have authority and so on. So, but it's very easy. You're not combative. You're not argumentative. You agree with their claim conditionally. And so if they can't prove it, you give them, I usually give them 2 to 3 weeks to rebut the claim, my counterclaim, and prove their authority. If they can't do it, you know how you can press the charge further.
So basically, I see a difference. What if I get what you say? It's a kind of a business thing. If a person come and offer me a contract, I can agree with the response of the contract with my condition. If you want to play, you have your condition, I have my condition. Game on. No game, okay. So I didn't. Yeah, this is what you say. This is what's happening. And normally, what happens with a authority figure encounter is they come and they offer. They don't really offer. They, as if psychologically force the business on the man, and the man, not knowing that what is going on, is accepting, is consenting to the offer, not knowing. So this is the fraud, basically. That's what is the misunderstanding bit for many people.
Yeah, I can say something about this, because before you get the live claim, the only thing that you have that proves that you exist is a piece of paper that the government made with your name on it, when you were born, where you were born, and someone received you. That paper is like a receipt. Like when you buy a car, you get a receipt that proves that you own the car. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, you are in possession of a piece of paper they made. They own you because they created this document. So in their world, you are their property. Your body is their property because there is no other document that exists that says otherwise. When you create your life claim, you now claim your body back and you're claiming your life status. Because when there's no life status, that's just a piece of body, like a piece of cargo, or like any property, any physical property. You see,
what's a life status? Can you have a non-life status?
Yes, because that's what the birth certificate is. It doesn't say you were born alive. It says boy was received that had this weight, that had this length, like a box that you put on a ship. And as long as that's the only document that exists, it's their property because they created the receipt. And they are holding that receipt as proof that they own you.
So the life claim cancels that? It cancels
yes.
In a way.
Yes, because first of all, the birth certificate is created with fraud. But if the fraud is not called out, the fraud stands as truth. So it's a rebuttal upon the fraud of the birth certificate to create the life claim. And now you have rebutted their claim, they own you, and you created your own life claim, it's yours, and you shouldn't let anyone trespass on it, like put their stamps on it. You should put it in lamination, and you should make photocopies, and you should distribute the photocopy. They can stamp away on the photocopies all they want, and you can show that. But the original should be your property and no trespass on that property. That's my point of view on it, because you created it, you own it, you control it. The claim on your own life. So.
Yes, Vitaly.
Yeah, what I want to add as well, I don't know what this says on your birth certificate, but on a British birth certificate, it says underneath the document, this is not the proof of identity. And mind, they use the very birth certificate to create your driver license and your passport,
yes,
which comes as an identity.
Yes.
Can you see the connection and the logic in it?
So there is no logic. If the birth certificate is not an ID, then how can it be used to create an ID?
It's a fraud.
You see what I mean? So, but it's done in front of our eyes, and we just blink it and we eat it without even realizing that we've been poisoned, and whole our life is poisoned after that.
And this is the Matrix, isn't it? You know, when people say, what is the Matrix? You guys really, really see the Matrix.
We hope that other people see that too.
Yes.
And the key, you see, when you see, what do I do with it? First, it wakes up your inner man.
Yeah.
And then, you know what, not just wakes up, but you have also, because we used to deal with documents, it also shows others, because there are the witnesses that come, and 2 or 3 witnesses, and we know even from the scripture that it says that by the witness of 2 or 3, every matter shall be established. So here we have another 2 living beings that come in and witnessing, confirming, yes, in front of me, this man is a living man. And so it reinforces your position. And then every time you're using it and use it correctly, you know, it just proves that, you know what, you holding now a true proof of your claim, which is your identity, you are the living being.
But isn't that connected to the joinder? You know how they're trying to make joinder between the living man and the birth certificate? And am I right? Am I guessing? Well, I am guessing that by having the life claim, I am more prepared to avoid having joinder created in my respect easily, in a much easier way.
Absolutely, because the existence of the live claim rebuts their fraud, and it cannot stand. Fraud cannot stand in the presence of fact. I have you look up in the I think it's a dictionary, look up. I'm going to share that with you also, but you can look that up. Fraud cannot stand in the presence of fact. And if there is no live claim as a fact, then the fraud stands as truth because there's no presence of anything else.
Yeah.
So, but this now that you're beginning to do it, and you're putting your signature and you're putting your autograph and your fingerprint, it will begin to dawn on you what this really is. But it's not going to happen like this overnight, but it's going to come to you slowly.
Yeah.
And as you keep looking into this, you're going to go, oh. And you're going to begin to see all the other aspects of it, and you begin to awaken.
Yeah, that's why we realized that the best thing to do as people who are involved in this area, and everybody's kind of confused, and you get bits of information. How do I do, and do I do this, and do I do that, and the best thing to do is get a live claim, and then you'll see what to do, and then things are going to start getting clearer and clearer, and hopefully soon I'll have my live claim and see how good it works in Israel.
Yeah,
next time I get a parking ticket.
To walk as a living man, because they taught us how to walk, isn't it, in our flesh? But now it's more spiritual walk than the walk in the flesh.
Mm.
Because you're gonna meet the enemies out there. They will try to scare you and try to put a doubt in you. But then you walk that walk inside of you, confirming to yourself and reminding yourself of who you truly are. You're not gonna make a dead man out of me anymore. I know very well, and I have tested and tried of who I am. And the big price being paid just for me to be alive. So
yes.
To go back to the bad things, don't touch the dead. Especially you are living in the land of the living. And that's how it starts. It starts one man at a time, and how we claim the earth back. One man at a time. And the ground that we take, we will feel the ground solid under our feet. And then we walk, and then we talk our talk. We don't give in simply, because some come, with the gun, or some comes, in the uniform and try to impose authority. What you trying to say?
I think it's time for the role play.
Oh my!
So, the honourable judge, stroke policeman Henrik, would you please approach the car of Vitaly, who has been driving along, and do your thing?
Okay.
So now stop the car, and now you approach the window.
I will knock on your window and say, "Can I see your driver's license and your registration, sir?"
Sorry. First of all, good afternoon or good evening. What is the reason for the stop?
You are being stopped because you were speeding, and I need to see your driver's license and your registration, please.
Have you have a proof for me that I was speeding?
Yes, I do, because I've been recording you driving behind you.
Okay. Do you have any witnesses?
I am a witness.
Okay. Do you have any other witness?
No. Only the recording.
Okay. Can I see the recording?
Absolutely. So step out of the car and come to my car, and I'll show you the recording.
I don't have to step out of the car. I want to see you pressing the charges against me, so I would like to see your evidence.
I do have the evidence. I have it in my car. You need to come with me, and I'll show you the evidence.
Well, I'm not leaving my property. If you want to deal with me, just present your evidence. And first of all, my question to you, was any party damaged?
First of all, you need to identify yourself so I know who I'm talking to.
You're talking to the man, Vitaly. That's enough for you?
No, I need to see your identification, your driver's license, or any other identification like your passport. You need to identify yourself. That's the law.
right now I'm traveling in my private capacity. I don't do any business right now. So the traveling living man in my private capacity, I'm asking you, is any party that was damaged in this claim that you're trying to make?
You're driving on public road, you need to show a document that identifies who you are.
Well, as I said, I'm not
driver's license or a passport.
I'm not driving right now. I'm traveling in my private capacity. And if you look at the UN resolution, you will see clearly that there are no restriction for the living man to travel across the earth. So are you trying to restrict me now with your claims?
No, you're driving on public roads. That's not United Nations resolutions. This is traffic rules, traffic law.
Yeah.
According to the traffic law, you must identify yourself if you're conveying on public roads.
Again, I am a living man that traveling in my private capacity. May I just ask you again, because you have stopped me now, do you have any contract that showing that you can do this to me, stop at your pleasure and start asking these questions?
I don't need a contract. I'm an officer that is working in the public domain, and you're driving on a public road, and you need to show identification.
Okay, may I take your name and your badge number?
Absolutely, my badge number is right here.
Okay, are you working for the corporation?
I'm working for the police that is working on the safety of the public roads in this area where you're driving.
Okay, may I just show you a little bit that the corporation that you are working for have a business registration number. So that means that you represent corporation now. For us to have any contract or any conversation, I would need to stand on the same level as you are. But I'm not representing any corporation. I'm representing a living man.
I'm representing police, not a corporation.
Well, the funny enough that you said, yeah, it's police, but it has organization number, and here's the evidence I'm showing you. It's a corporation. It's a business or a registration number there, and you can see how much profit that corporation makes every year. So you represent corporation, and the reason you're stopping me because you want to try to make money out of me, right?
Yeah, that's actually good. Yeah, I think most officers, they don't know they're working for a corporation, so that's a pretty good counter argument there.
So what would you say? I mean, Henrik, how would you say exactly what Vitaly said, or would you have other things that you might have said?
What I teach in my classes, I teach that you don't talk to police at all. But that doesn't mean you're mute, but what you do, you ask questions. So the first thing is, if you are stopped by the road, I would ask the officer, are you stopping me? Am I under arrest? And he would say, no, I'm here to find out who you are. So I would say, but is it correct if I'm stopped while I'm in my conveyance, in motion? It's the equivalent of being stopped and arrested. And he would insist, no, you're just being stopped so we can find out if you have proper documentation and so forth. Then again, is it correctly understood? If I'm stopped in my motion, it is the equivalent of an arrest. And if he says yes, then you can say, then I'm not going to say anything because anything I say will be used against me. So I hereby invoke my rights not to speak. So you're still talking, but you're not giving him name, you're not giving him any paperwork, you're not giving him any insurance, anything.
Yeah.
You're just asking him, is it correctly understood? And you get him boxed in until he has to say yes.
So yeah,
He's
and then
arresting
what?
you, and then you have a right not to speak.
I understand. And then what? And then he says, "Well, sir, I told you that I'm not arresting you. I know that I arrested you, but I don't care what you. I mean, what do you think would happen after you say, well, that's the case. Well, I'm not speaking because you admitted I'm under arrest, so I'm not going to speak anymore. What happens then? He goes away.
I can tell you what will happen. Most probably, he will go and he will call his supervisor because he doesn't know what to do.
Yep. And then what will happen?
And then he will have. This happened to me because I am driving my own conveyance. It took 15 seconds, and then he said, "You're free to go." That's another question you keep asking him. Am I free to go? I'm not free to go, then I'm under arrest.
Yeah.
Am I under arrest? I have the right not to speak.
That's amazing.
And so forth. So with 2-3 questions, you can block total any traffic.
And
stop.
What about your car? Has your own plates, like your own? Can you explain about that? Like your car doesn't have a Danish plate, does it? It has something you made.
No, it has the automobile is purchased, and I have receipt of ownership, and I also have an autograph from a car mechanic that has verified that it's safe for public conveyance.
Yeah.
For public travel.
Yeah.
So I'm not bringing anyone in danger because I have that. But I don't show that at a road stop. That is for showing the magistrate if I should be taken into custody and put in front of a magistrate, because that's the first thing that should do if you're being arrested on the road and taken to the police station. They must immediately put you in front of a magistrate, and then I will show the paper on ownership, property of the automobile with registration, with the VIN number and seller and buyer, with autographs and fingerprints and stamps. And that will prove to the magistrate that I'm not traveling in public roads without the proper care, that I'm not endangering anyone.
Yeah. But what about the police officer? You said you're not going to show that to him. So what are you going to show him?
Because anything I show will be used against me in a court of law.
So what will you show him? Nothing?
Nothing. I will say to him, I reserve my rights. I invoke my rights. It's even stronger. I invoke my right not to speak. Mm-hmm. You don't say anything about incriminating or anything, because then you're putting those words out that you're a criminal.
I see.
Because someone that incriminates is a criminal. So you don't say anything other than I invoke my right.
Yeah, but I understand. But that's after he stopped you. But I'm talking, if I was to look at your car now and look at another Danish car, would I see a difference in the plates? Would I say, look, hang on a minute, these are strange plates. They're not plates like every other car in Denmark?
Yes.
So that might, I'm guessing that you're being stopped a lot by police, because they're seeing you driving around and they're stopping you all the time.
Let me make a suggestion. Let Vitaly answer, because he just saw my car like an hour ago, and let him tell you what he saw.
Please, Vitaly.
Well, the number plates that he got with the common law is actually almost identical the way it looks like Danish. It's only when you come closer and pay attention to the small writings under the or on the bottom of number plates, it's the private conveyance.
Ah, okay. But where did you get the actual number? Because did you get it from them, or you invented a number?
What I did is I went in and I filed my automobile ownership copy of the receipt into the book of deeds in the common law, which means this property has changed owner from the previous owner to this owner. Okay?
Yeah.
And in there, when you file that deed, you can ask for a unique number from the system. In my case, it is 6 digits. So I use these 6 digits, put on the plate, and then I put CL in front, because in Denmark we use 2 letters and then a number. So I have an identical number except 1 more digit, because the Danish plate has 5, I have 6. And then the front is white and the rear one is yellow. So any cop that sees it will think this is a car from England. because I actually ordered them online on English online. This was the standard plate. I just punched in my own numbers and put private, non-commercial. And then I have a little sticker in my front window where you put like a parking license that says this conveyance or this automobile is in private, non-commercial, UCC 1308 without prejudice, and then a common law court seal, and then a little QR code. If you scan that, you'll find that automobile registered or published in the common law court website.
Okay, now what happens if, God forbid, there's an accident and you kill somebody? Do you have insurance?
Any accident, any court case of any kind of anything, no matter what it is, it's all a financial transaction. It's all a tax matter. So if someone got damaged or died, that's just a financial transaction.
And do you have insurance?
I have insurance. I have insurance through what is called an indemnity bond. But you don't actually need that, because by the fact that you have a social security, you are actually insured. That's an insurance in itself, to protect you anywhere you move, anywhere in the world.
Okay, let's hope you never actually have to check if it's true or not.
It's absolutely fact.
So
if you have an insurance on your automobile, like the one everyone buys when they buy a car, then you are showing you are there in commercial capacity, because the insurance is only for the damage you may create to other commercial property. Or another legal fiction. That's exactly.
So-called demand.
So it doesn't help you write non-commercial on your license plate or the little sticker. If you have an insurance, that is in itself proof that you're driving commercially.
So there's a difference between driving commercially and in private capacity. Yes. I see. So basically, if I was to ride my bicycle and hit and crash into a young boy, God forbid, and kill him, then I don't have insurance, so I should be okay, according to what you're saying. Would I? I mean, what would happen then? It'll go to court, and then if it's proven that I wasn't driving recklessly and he jumped in front of my bicycle and he ended up dead, and I don't have insurance for riding a bicycle, so I'll just be, I'll be they won't do anything to me. They'll let me go. And you're saying the same thing. Driving a car is no different than driving a bicycle or a skateboard if it's in private capacity.
The thing is as well that you take your responsibility, Michael. You pay attention to what you do on the road, because the whole thing is living in a private and living under the common law. You don't harm other being. You don't cause any damage. So, and if you do any damage, so then you need to figure it out how you need to actually compensate that.
Yeah, the problem is if a kid jumps in front of your car, the court might rule that you owe them 25 million euros. What are you going to do then?
Can be the case. The thing is, I mean, I don't think that kind of amount that can be taken into consideration.
It's huge. It's millions. What do you mean? Of course it is. Millions compensation. So the point is that Henrik is saying, no problem, the national insurance will pay it. Or what did you say? National insurance?
Exactly. So what I'm saying is that because we have something called Social Security, and I want you to also make a note about this, go and look up the New Deal under Franklin D. Roosevelt from 1933. You will find it says Social Security was actually introduced into the world at that time. That's this Social Security number that you have to your name. So if you get a claim of 25 million, whatever currency, because you damage someone, you can actually, according to law, because there is no money in the system, you make a promissory note and you put that number in there and the Social Security number, and you give that as payment. That is payment, a promissory note, like a money bit, like a 100 whatever you have in denominations in Israel. That's a promissory note because there's no money behind it.
But
Okay.
that's what the insurance company does as well, as a middleman
Absolutely.
between you and your trust account or your social security account. They just take a little bit of money for that, what they're doing, administration work, but they administrate on your behalf to get access to your social security.
Well, that's
So,
something I never understood about the trust and the money that is held in the Vatican in my name and traded on the stock market. I never really got that, but you guys obviously do. So
I
we
think
might-
you have another theme for your podcast or what you do
Yes.
or for your video, because it's the theme of its own.
Exactly.
You know, yeah.
So my answer to your question is yes, we are all insured. But they want us to pay double and triple and quadruple so they can keep making money off us. But you don't need that. You
And-
don't need an insurance to drive in the private.
I see.
Michael, the English word pagan, you know what does it really mean?
No.
Pay again, pay twice,
Yeah.
pay 3 times. Yeah, so that's why they make us goyim. Yeah, so that we, as a cattle,
Make us
that
what?
stock,
Make us what?
goyim.
That's a Hebrew word.
Yeah,
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 go in.
Yeah.
goyim. Yes.
And which
The
means
cattle.
what? Go.
No, the goyim, it's a Hebrew word which means that basically you're
Non-Jew. It means a
Non-Jew.
non-Jew, a Gentile. That's what goyim means.
Yeah, yeah. Again, pay again. You see that's what it is. You know what? They made us pay twice. This so-called ruling elite.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I can actually show you a document where they are calling all of you taxpayers goyims, and it's written by one in the elites.
So does that mean the Jews are the ruling elite?
No, anyone that is not part of the club is goyim.
Ah, even Jews.
That's what it says in
So
that.
I'm a goy as well, according to
Yes.
them.
Yes, you are
Oy
goyim.
vey!
All goyims. Yes, that's what they
Right.
call
They
us.
treat us as a cattle, isn't it? As a
Yes.
stock.
Fascinating. Well, gentlemen, it's been an hour and 12 minutes, so let's wrap it up. How would you like to do that? Schwing, Vitali,
I would
Henrik?
say I'll sum it up first of all with thank you for your time and lovely to meet you, Vitali, and to see you again, Henrik.
Thank you.
And I think I would like to know and stay on follow up with the story of Zygmunt, our dear Zygmunt, which is one of the pioneers that get in the other side and needs to hear our voice supporting him from all over the world. That's what I would say.
Yeah, so on Tuesday, 9:30 Danish time, we have the court meeting.
Yeah.
It's set for 4.5 hours. After that time, we can report back to you what came out of that. There's two possibilities.
Yeah,
Either they keep him or they let him go.
yeah. That would be good.
So we could
Good
follow
luck.
up with that, and maybe next time Sigmund could be present.
Wow,
Hey, man.
that would be amazing.
Yes,
Okay
we
then.
just-
Yes, Vitali? And your last words for the interview?
Well, that's why I'm here as well in Denmark, to come and support Sigmund and with his partner Siv as well. So we are there to support him and stand by him, that he's not alone in this endeavor. You know what? And we are there to lift his hands up, and whatever it takes. So we are there for him.
Amazing. Okay, gentlemen,
Yeah.
it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much, and good luck to us all.
Yes, blessings.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Nice to meet you.